Good evening, guys. I'm Becca Simpson, and behind me you have a picture of a banned books, which most of us have read at one point. But my question is, what is it about ink on paper, words made into letters, made into sentences, that makes books so dangerous and so powerful? When I was 11, I waited outside by the mailbox, waiting for a letter. It wasn't until high school that I realized the story I found so much magic in was much more than a boy who went to a school for witchcraft and wizardry. I'm sure you haven't heard of it. It was when I went into high school that I was told, you need to focus on something other than silly children's stories. There are other things that are important, and focusing on the literature you read was not as important as reading the great literary masters that I had always been heard of. But I found really important things in these works. I found so many themes and messages to communicate. There was racism, the struggle between purebloods and mudbloods to exist in a society where mudbloods were currently being oppressed by every way and had to prove their status at every point. There was also the ability for people to be in a government that cared more about protecting its reputation than its citizens, and allowing the way they communicated things to be infiltrated through the media, such as the Daily Prophet, the school, Dolores Umbridge, as well as even in the people that they ended up torturing and killing, as we see in Book 7. I also saw love, the power that Voldemort lacked, and the power that saved Harry and saved the whole school of Hogwarts at the 7th battle. It is an important thing that allows us to have bravery, courage, and allows us to be saved and redeemed. And last but not least, it is Dumbledore who says, it is the choices we make, not our abilities, who define who we truly are. It was between what is right and what is easy, and all of us will have to make that choice because that defines who we are. And as I looked back, I felt that these were all very important messages, and unfortunately, I wasn't alone. I found a group of people, the real world's Dumbledores Army, you could say, that were just as passionate about the cause as I was, and were going even further by bringing it into the real world. They formed an organization called the Harry Potter Alliance, an organization that uses an out-of-the-box approach to social activism in order to create parallels between the Harry Potter books and real-world changes. We've done so many programs, and it's continuing with our Deathly Hallows campaign, but a couple of the programs mentioned are, when Haiti earthquake struck in January, the Harry Potter fandom got together to raise $123,000, including the help of J.K. Rowling. We've raised awareness, garnered signatures, and raised funds for families in the ongoing violence in Darfur. In addition, when Half-Blood Prince was released, we started a campaign known as What Would Dumbledore Do?, which asked everyday citizens to look at their favorite headmaster and see what choices he would make and try to improve the world and change their everyday lives by focusing on that as well. And last but not least, and one of the many programs we focus on because we're huge on literacy, is the Akio Books campaign, which is happening right now. And we've raised over 55,000 books for kids locally, nationally, and globally, so that they can share in the inspiration that we have gotten from reading these books, as well as many others. So we are often asked why. Why as a fandom do we spend hours, days, months obsessing over Harry Potter and doing an organization, everything in the name of one boy, Harry Potter? My answer to you is, we all have those stories, and I'm sure all of you are thinking of one right now that has changed you in some way. We have our Dobbys, our Dumbledores, our Atticus Finches, our Sidney Cartons, our Hester Prynnes, along with many others that encourage us to be better people. They've all inspired us in some way or another, and we've all been challenged by them in some way. I'm sure everyone has read a book that has been their favorite and has creases in their spine. And the thing is these characters really change who we are as people, and they allow us to be so much better, and they allow us to make connections. A very good friend of mine says, literature teaches empathy, that it bridges connections between people and experiences they may never actually have, but allows them to empathize, and allows them to understand and grow passions for that. Now, if we encourage reading and literature in children, we can do so much. As kids make ideas, as they are unleashed and ignited their passions in everything they do, as they want to make social change because of one book character they've read, books can make all the difference. It's really important to understand that as we move into our future and how we want it to look, that we realize the importance of encouraging kids to read all of the time, as well as ourselves, looking at how we should be reading and the messages that each work implies and carries with it, so that we can change the world because we are empathetic to others. I asked you at the beginning, what are the power of banned books? What makes it so religions, institutions, individuals, and governments feel the need to ban these from the general public? And it's because books can change the world. Books are powerful tools, but they're only ink on paper. It's what our imaginations does with them. So as J.K. Rowling once said, we do not need magic to change the world. We have all the power we need inside ourselves. We have the power to imagine better. Imagine better, read a book, make a difference. Thank you.